The Moon's 7 Mysteries and One Incredible Hypothesis. The Moon is the most prominent object in our night sky, inspiring magical dreams and ancient mythology. So how was the Moon actually formed? Over the past century, there have been 4 main hypotheses proposed to explain the origin of the Moon. One hypothesis suggests that the Moon was once a part of the Earth and later separated from it. Another hypothesis posits that the Moon formed simultaneously with the Earth, emerging from the same primordial nebula. A third hypothesis suggests that, while wandering through space, the Moon was captured by Earth's gravitational pull and held in its orbit. The fourth hypothesis proposes that the Moon is a satellite created by an ancient civilization. This idea is perhaps the most astonishing of all. However, it might explain the unusual characteristics of the Moon, as a satellite designed by intelligent beings would differ significantly from celestial bodies that formed randomly billions of years ago. In fact, many scientists have acknowledged that this hypothesis holds as much validity as the others. This hypothesis was first proposed in the 1960s by 2 Russian scientists, Mikhail Vasin and Alexander Sherbakov, and it was later supported by interested investigators and colleagues. They identified the 7 most peculiar features of the Moon as follows. Mystery number 1, an oversized satellite. In the solar system, many planets have moons. Smaller planets like Mercury and Venus lack moons due to their weaker gravitational pull. Earth, with a comparable size, hosts a moon that is a quarter of its own size. Measurements show that Earth's diameter is 12,742 kilometers, while the Moon's diameter is 3,474 kilometers, approximately 27% of Earth's diameter. In contrast, the satellites of other planets typically do not exceed 5% of their parent planet size. Consider the giant planets like Jupiter and Saturn, which have numerous relatively small satellites. For example, Jupiter's largest moons are roughly 1/80th the size of the planet. This makes our Moon a rare presence in the universe. Mystery number 2, the Moon's unique position. Moon's diameter, 2,159 miles, 3,474 kilometers. Sun's diameter, 864,575 miles, 1,391,400 kilometers. Distance from Moon to Earth, 225,700 miles, 360,000 kilometers. Average distance from Sun to Earth, 92 million miles, 149,600,000 kilometers. The measurements of the Moon, the Sun, and the Earth reveal a peculiar coincidence. The Sun's diameter is 395 times larger than the Moon's, and the Moon is 395 times closer to the Earth than the Sun. This proportional relationship creates a fascinating effect. When viewed from Earth, the Moon and the Sun appear to be the same size. This strange coincidence is most evident during a total solar eclipse, when the Moon completely covers the Sun. Astronomers consider this phenomenon exceptionally unusual, noting that it is nearly impossible to find a similar occurrence among other planets in the solar system. Mystery 3, an unusually circular orbit. The Moon's gravitational center is offset by 1,829 meters, 6,000 feet, from its geometric center. Despite this significant discrepancy, the Moon maintains an almost perfectly circular orbit. Scientists are still unable to fully explain this anomaly. Could the Moon be a hollow spacecraft placed in Earth's orbit in prehistoric times? Writes Don Wilson in Our Mysterious Spaceship Moon. Mystery number 4, unusual impact craters. The impact craters on the Moon are peculiar. They are very shallow. For example, the deepest crater, Gagarin crater, is only about 4 miles deep, yet it spans a diameter of 186 miles. Scientists estimate that with such a vast diameter, the crater's depth should be at least several hundred miles. This anomaly remains unexplained, though one hypothesis suggests the existence of a highly durable material layer located approximately 4 miles beneath the Moon's surface, which meteorites cannot penetrate. Could this hard layer be a metallic shell? Scientists Vassin and Sherbakov proposed that the moon's crust might consist of a titanium framework. Remarkably, this has been substantiated. The moon's crust contains a high concentration of titanium. According to estimates by Soviet researchers, this titanium layer could be nearly 32 kilometers thick. Moon craters are also filled with lava that contains rare metallic elements such as titanium, chromium, and yttrium. These metals require temperatures of 2,000 to 3,000 degrees Celsius or higher to melt. Yet the moon is a cold and desolate sphere that has had no volcanic activity for at least 3 billion years. So why does the moon contain so many metals that only form at such extreme temperatures? Mystery number 5. The moon stabilizes Earth's axis. Whether it was created to serve a purpose or not, the moon has a profoundly positive impact on Earth. According to NASA, the moon helps stabilize Earth's wobble, creating more consistent seasons. On NASA's website, Dr. Eric Christian and distance learning expert Beth Barbier explain, the moon adds a gravitational pull on Earth's rotation through tides, both ocean and internal tides. This additional drag stabilizes Earth's rotation. It also gradually slows Earth's spin, lengthening the duration of days over time. Compared to the moons of other planets, this unique stabilizing effect of the moon on Earth is unparalleled. Mystery number 6. The two faces of the moon. The moon always keeps one face turned toward Earth as it rotates, a phenomenon that is puzzling from an astronomical perspective, since achieving such synchronous rotation requires extraordinary precision. Why does the moon only show one face to Earth? The moon has two relative motions, its rotation on its axis and its orbit around Earth. The time it takes for the moon to complete one rotation is exactly equal to the time it takes to orbit Earth, 27.3 days. This means that as the moon orbits Earth, it also rotates at the same rate, always presenting the same face to Earth. On the far side of the moon, the dark side, which is not visible from Earth, numerous craters, mountains, and rugged terrain have been observed. In contrast, the side facing Earth is relatively smooth and flat. Scientists have yet to explain the reason for this stark difference. Theoretically, if the moon were a natural celestial body in the universe, existing for such a long time, the chances of meteor impacts should be evenly distributed across its surface. Why then is there such a vast disparity between the two sides? The ancient Greek scholars Parmenides and Empedocles, cited independently, knew long ago that the moon lights the night sky with borrowed light. From the perspective of the artificial moon hypothesis, if the moon were designed to illuminate, it would require a smooth surface to efficiently reflect sunlight. Mystery number 7. Low density. In 1969, NASA deliberately caused an impact on the moon's surface to allow Apollo 12 astronauts to measure seismic waves. Remarkably, the moon rang for over 55 minutes. The vibrations started small, grew larger, reached peak intensity for about 8 minutes, and then gradually subsided. The entire process lasted around an hour, but the echoes lingered much longer. Maurice Ewing, the head of the seismic study, commented, "The seismic activity resembled striking a church bell. The waves propagated across the moon's outer surface rather than penetrating inward, similar to the behavior of a hollow metallic sphere." In his 1982 book, Moongate Suppressed Findings of the U.S. Space Program, researcher and nuclear engineer William L. Bryan II wrote that evidence from the Apollo seismic experiments suggests the moon is hollow and relatively rigid. The speed at which vibrations travel through the moon is comparable to the speed of waves in metal. Based on this data, scientists hypothesized that the moon's interior might consist of a metallic shell, overlaid by a loose, rocky layer estimated to be 10 to 20 miles thick. Is this hypothesis possible? In 1970, Russian scientists Alexander Sherbakov and Mikhail Vassin proposed the shocking moon spaceship hypothesis to explain the moon's origin. They believe that the moon is not a natural satellite of Earth, but rather a spaceship created by intelligent beings designed and shaped like a planet. They claim that many records of this civilization are preserved inside the moon and were intentionally placed there on Earth. All the discoveries about the moon are, in fact, the remarkable works of intelligent beings living inside it. Naturally, the scientific community scorned this theory. However, it is undeniable that this hypothesis explains the anomalies of the moon outlined above. Who can say this approach is unscientific? The first time I accidentally came across the shocking hypothesis by the Soviet scientists, revealing the true nature of the moon, I was stunned. At first, I thought it was unbelievable and naturally dismissed it. Later, as more scientific data from our Apollo missions supported the Soviet hypothesis, I found myself compelled to accept it, said Don Wilson in the preface of his book, Exploring the Artificial Satellite Hypothesis, titled Our Mysterious Spaceship Moon. Could it be that at some point in Earth's billions of years of history, there was a civilization advanced enough to create such a colossal structure? It's hard to know, because the remnants of a civilization would likely be almost completely gone after just 10,000 years. However, we do know that ancient civilizations were more advanced than we are today, and pyramids may have served as massive energy bases, built in large quantities and even planned on a global scale. If the moon is indeed artificial, was it created simply to illuminate the night sky? Or were there other design purposes? Its magnetic field affects tides on Earth, the menstrual cycles of women, and some believe that the full moon can even influence human mental states. The moon has become an indispensable part of life on Earth, and it's hard to imagine what the world would be like without it. But perhaps, long ago, humanity once knew an era without a moon. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating content. Hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Let us know your thoughts on the moon spaceship hypothesis in the comments below. Do you think it's possible? See you in the next video.